Big W begins closing its 30 stores. Let's have a look. Good evening, everyone. Florian Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I've got my evening stein of coffee, and I thought we'd have a look at this article from news.com.au, which is essentially a continuation of the retail recession. Big W begins to shut the first of 30 stores across Australia, and Big W is a variety clothing knickknacks retailer, large format, usually an anchor tenant, and shutting 30 stores. That's a big move. So, Big W is starting to close the doors of up to 30 stores as it battles Australia's retail woes. There are bargains to be had indeed, but it has also angered customers. Would it anger you? Really? I guess I'm not attached to any. I guess if you're working there or your kids were working there, that'd frustrate you. But, so, with his kids in tow, Camille Atahakara, I'm sorry mate, Camille is on the hunt for a bargain. Problem is, there's not much to nab as he paces up and down the few remaining and increasingly barren aisles of his local Big W. What's left is hardly enticing. On a shelf, the only things to buy are a few scattered plastic champagne flutes and some craft glue. Now 75% off. Oh boy. Actually, my daughter would love that. They look like the discount department store equivalent of the last kids to be picked for the school soccer team. Lonely and a bit awkward. I'm looking for toys for my boys. But look at that, it's all gone. It's not good, Mr. A tells news.com.au at the almost empty store in Auburn in Sydney's west. Well, I mean, come on, mate, what do you expect? I'm very disappointed it's going. Another says the store now looks sad. One customer is more direct, accusing Big W of abandoning her neighborhood, which we left without a similar retailer. Well, then maybe you just need to travel to the next neighborhood. I mean, this is the retail recession. They wouldn't have abandoned your suburb if people were spending enough money there to make it economically viable. The reason for the sorry-looking state of the store is that it will shut for good in days. The Auburn store, along with two others in nearby Cholera and Fairfield, are the first of three of as many as 30 Big W stores nationwide to be closed, as the retailer attempts to turn around an $85 million loss in the face of savage competition from the likes of Kmart and H&M. So maybe this is a brand that just hasn't adapted, hasn't responded to the changing environment, to the changing market. I mean, I even went to a Kmart recently to buy. I bought Christmas toys at the local Kmart for the kids. I was shocked, actually, at how cheap these plastic toys were compared to when I was a child, and most of them are still around. So, around 90 staff in each store are affected, while the closure process will put a $370 million dent in the company's profits. The 90 staff in each store. I mean, I feel sorry for the staff, but that's a large number of people to keep an operation like this going. This is a big footprint. Just the power bill alone running would be significant. So 3 Big W stores in Sydney's west, including the one above, will close at the end of the month. You can see here, I mean, there you go. You might be able to get the shelves pretty cheap. I don't know if you'd get much for it for scrap metal these days. It comes in the middle of a very unhappy new year for Australian retail. In January alone, speaker maker Bose and education retailer Curious Planet announced all their Australian stores were closing. Discounter Harris Scarfe will axe 21 department stores. Fashion retailer Bardot will close 58 shops, and EB Games will exit 19 shopping centres. Just last week, Mall Staple Jeans West entered voluntary administration. I was actually at Officeworks today, and I was thinking you could get headphones for like $9.95, and I'm thinking, well, no wonder Bose are in trouble. Big W bigwigs insist the chain has a future, and some pruning of the store network will help to accelerate the path to profitability. Do you think that's just positive speak, everyone? 30 stores is a fair bit. The 3 doomed Big W stores will bring their shutters down for the final time on January 31. But in Auburn, the vast majority of the store is already sealed off. Barriers prevent customers from getting any further than the aisles nearest the checkouts. Well, you can't blame them for doing that because they want to keep it clean. They also want to watch people to make sure they're not nicking stuff. One sign simply says technology is now closed. Beyond the barriers, the lights are still on, and signage still hangs from the ceiling directing people to babywear, DIY, and the lay-by counter. But the shelves have been stripped. I mean, there you go. There you go. How it usually looks, how it looks there. Carpet's still there. I mean, there you go. They haven't taken everything out. In one cranny was the optometrists, a market Big W entered to wrestle some share from the likes of OPSM and Specsavers, but there are no longer any specs to inspect. Well, yes, I actually went to a optometrist there, and I thought the service was quite good. They included features that other optometrists tried to charge me extra for, with regards to photographic records for the back of my eyes. And that alone would have been enough for me to keep going back there. They should have advertised that, and that might have attracted more customers to them, because the cost for them is nothing, and other people are trying to charge you for that. So, where customers and still browse is enough to make the fastidious have a fit. Some shelves are empty, elsewhere hundreds of books are haphazardly piled. Other shelves are a mishmash of random unsold items, box of staples, near poached egg rings, cell phone cases, and dog toys. One woman lazily picks up a pair of purple children's sunglasses, just $2, and places them back on the shelf between a stack of licorice wheels and a printer cartridge. I still remember when this looks pretty depressing. I still remember when Masters were closing. We went in there and they had 1 hour left, and literally $5 a bag. I was just putting all this stuff in there. I still have bits and bobs from that lying around. I should try and sell it. I've tried to. It hasn't really worked too well. I made all my money back selling one thing on Gumtree. It looks awful, said Diana Pazmino, who has hopped from the Chulurla to visit her mum. I think I'm not saying that right. I'm looking for something for my daughter. I usually come to Big W for toys and the books. I mean, there you go. You should go to the Book Fest. Very good. Very cheap here in Brisbane. She said the chain seemed to suffer because Kmart had become trendier. But I prefer Big W. The quality is better, she said. Mr. Adhakar also cited the quality of Kmart as the reason he chose this store. If everyone thought like them, perhaps this store would not have been closing. In the corner are DVDs aplenty. There are stacks of the panned 2017 Amy Schumacher and Goldie Hawn comedy Snatched, 36% on Rotten Tomato. There are so many unsold copies, it seems almost plausible the film could be single-handedly responsible for dragging Big W into loss. Oh, that's funny. I didn't even know what that film was. So Big W has abandoned us. So if you're in the market for home beer kits, ornamental ceramic birds, or hundreds, possibly thousands of boxes of sticky yellow dots, not red or blue dots, just yellow, okay? Big W Auburn is a gold mine of cut price opportunity. I mean, yellow dots, I guess. Another shopper's haul includes a bra and some laminated pouches. I don't want it to close. I really enjoy coming here. I feel sad. I just hope these people aren't buying all this garbage on credit. Seriously, are they after paying this stuff? Big W's closure will leave a hole in the local shopping centre. The nearest Kmart is 30 minutes walk away. This is in a suburb with lower than average car ownership. Big W is hoping people will make the direct train ride to the nearest store. Some people news.com.au spoke to said that wouldn't be happening. A Big W spokeswoman told news.com.au it recognised closing any store isn't easy on our teams and communities. She said staff were offered redeployment to other stores or Woolies supermarkets, and most took up the offer rather than leave. The purpose of Big W's store review announced in April last year, is to build a strong, profitable, and more sustainable store and distribution centre network that reflects our customers' needs and rapidly changing retail environment, the spokeswoman said. Last year, Woolworths Group CEO Brad Banducci was even blunter, saying there was no alternative but to shut a slew of the stores, although he stressed that closing the chains altogether was not on the cards. So likely more than 30 stores will close. Investment bank Citibank has said it expected further closures beyond the 30 announced or mooted. The closure of 16% of the Big W network is unlikely to be the end of the store rationalization profile, the 2019 note said. But for retail optimists, there are positive signs coming from Big W. Its $85 million full-year loss in 2019 was an improvement on the $110 million loss in the previous year. Sales were up 4.2% last year, helped by clothing, online, and click and collect. I mean, okay, they've only lost $85 million, not $110 million. That is an improvement. And the share price may have spiked if that was unexpected when the news was released. It just shows you how unrelated the market is to performance, more just perception. So Big W can confirm we're on track with our turnaround, the spokeswoman said. However, gaming and DVDs, we're looking at you snatched, were still a drag on the bottom line. Big W is not alone. In recent years, even Kmart's halo has dimmed. Sales in 2019 barely edged up, and profits, which include sister store Target, were down by 13.7%. Nonetheless, it still managed to add $540 million to the bottom line of owner Wesfarmers. Big W is being cagey about the next store to be given the flick, although it may announce the next clutch at Woolworth's half-year results in February. The choice of the first 3 locations may give a clue for the next. All are in relatively small centres in secondary suburbs, overshadowed by major retail hubs. Auburn is just a short train ride from Parramatta, which houses one of Australia's largest shopping centres. Brian Walker, who runs the Retail Doctor Group consultancy, told news.com.au last year that Australia simply had too many shops. Changes in shopping habits, such as the growth of online and stagnant wage growth, have closed wallets. It's a pincher effort. Large centres like Parramatta will get bigger. At the other end, we will see a resurgence of community hubs with butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers, Mr. Walker said. It's in the middle ground that's in the firing line. These are the centres that are too big to be small and too small to be big. The sign above Big W's entrance shows some of the staff and offers a big hello from your Auburn store. In just a couple of weeks, it'll be goodbye from Big W Auburn forever. So there you go, guys. So the retail recession continues, and the drastic changes required by Big W to hopefully turn into a profit-making enterprise have begun. And people are upset. What do you think, guys? Do you think this is just the beginning? What about the idea that we'll start seeing more boutique, smaller shops and more consolidation at the biggest centres? That's an interesting idea. I'm just thinking about our shopping habits. We're Aldi fans. And then again, I will tend to go to the biggest centres because you get more variety there, more access to other facilities for the kids. Parking's usually free. But then again, we'll have to wait and see. Let me know your perspective in the comments below. Thank you everyone for watching. And please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to help us grow, you can support us via Patreon with a small monthly donation. You can also join the channel here on YouTube. We have affiliate links for Independent Reserve for your crypto trading, Amazon and eBay for your consumer purchases. We also have merchandise, handmade pocket squares on the HeiseSays website. And finally, PayPal if you want to support us like that. Thanks everyone. Have a great night, and I will talk to you later. Bye for now.